Hi everybody, welcome to Teaspoon Retro. I'm your host, Teaspoon, and today I'm taking a look at Chantal's The Ramadan Rage to Top All Others. She's not a happy bunny. When is she? And even the amount of fast food that she's consumed recently isn't enough to cool her down, to sort of temper that volatile part of her personality. So, let's see what's got her in such a twist, shall we? I would say got her knickers in a twist, but she reckons she doesn't wear them, so I can't really say that. So, alright then, let's go.
Yeah, I just sprayed it with like disinfectant stuff, but Fern, leave us alone.
I know there's a technique of overlining the lips, but Chantal seems to do that to excess, and well, it doesn't look very good, to be honest. It shows us a further deterioration in her eyesight, if there was any more deterioration in eyesight proof needed, I would say. You just have to look back at the video with the encounter with the cat. I don't believe I included a clip of it in my video, but there was at one stage where she was gesturing to the cat to a pile of what she thought was kibble, and instead it was just droplets of water, and she couldn't make out that it was water and not kibble. She honestly thought it was kibble, and if that doesn't show a deterioration in eyesight, I don't know what does, to be honest.
Ramadan Kareem. These smell awesome. They have special Ramadan donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. So thank you, sponsor. Hey, Blue Lace. Kuwait runs on Dunkin'. Thanks, Pickle Soup. I do like fruit, yeah.
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah, I do like fruit. I do. Yeah, honestly, I really like fruit. I mean, I know I've had pineapples going rotten on the couch, and I know I've had all sorts of other fruit that I've never consumed on camera, you know, like that box of pomegranates, and bananas that I pulled a face over when I was trying to eat one, that didn't come with an ice cream. And I don't know really. Why don't you believe I don't like fruit? Just look at my svelte figure, okay? Is this not the body of someone that loves fruit? Just tell me that, yeah?
You know, she's got a box of donuts. And don't forget, guys, she doesn't like sweet stuff, but she's been sponsored, so she's gonna chow down on some of these donuts. And I suppose we could have a very lengthy discussion about how distasteful it is that Foodie now seems to have adopted a position where she's allowing people to sponsor her decline, and by sort of feeding her these treats, by giving her the money to go out and buy them, that seems to actively be helping her try to unalive herself. And it's really quite disturbing. I mean, that's something she's chosen. She's quite happy to do that. She's actively encouraging it. She's certainly pushing it, and has even introduced a minimum $20 spend. What can anyone do at this point? Salah certainly doesn't care. He's been actively encouraging her to eat more. The video she did at the Cheesecake Factory, which I didn't cover, but she had already eaten a potato curry earlier in the day, and then she went on to have the meal at the Cheesecake Factory, which was that pizza, that chicken pizza topped with pasta. And she went into the bathroom, and she looked absolutely dreadful. And although we can't see or hear anything, given her demeanour and expressions throughout, I would say she that there was a very good chance that she'd been physically ill, physically sick. And Salah then says, go to the steakhouse, because if they've got no copyrighted music there, you can film and we can get a stream monetized. So he's actively pushing that as hard as he possibly can. He didn't want her to go to the hospital the other night when she had the cat bite. He was actively against that and telling the chat to be quiet and not to dramatise. So he's, because that would be money that he's trying to squirrel away and skim. That would be money he couldn't spend or save for himself for whatever plan he's got in mind. And obviously Chantal going to the emergency room is going to have eaten into that. Let's just, I'll be interested actually to see, because we should be nearing the point, I would imagine, where she's got to go back for another rabies shot. That's assuming she even had the first one, which I don't believe she did. I think she left without getting any shots whatsoever. But it would become quite clear at some point if she's not going for those shots.
Am I supposed to never have another donut in my life, ever? Not gonna happen, sorry. And that's my business. If I want to eat donuts with diabetes, that's it. I'm allowed to.
Yeah, but who has to pick up the pieces, Chantal, when your foot comes off? Or a leg? Or your eyesight goes completely and you're totally blind? Who has to pick up the pieces then? Q8? Salah? Do you think Salah's seriously going to be there when a body part comes off? You really think he's going to be there when you go blind? No, he will dump you at the curb at the airport. That's what will happen. He's not going to be there. Are you going to expect your mom to have to stomp up enormous fees to get you home? So, it's a completely narcissistic and selfish attitude, because you are unable, I should say, you're unable to see the point of view of anybody else's, or even respect that point of view from anyone else, because what they want or what they may need is completely and utterly secondary to your own needs. She's like, well,
I want a donut. If I want a donut, I'll eat a donut, and who cares if all my body parts fall off? I mean, at least I'll have lost a bit of weight then. But I want donuts, and if I want donuts, I'll have donuts, okay? I don't care who has to wipe my arse and all the rest of it, and dress me, and feed me, and change me, because I can't do anything for myself, because I won't be able to see, so I don't care about all that, as long as I keep getting donuts, okay?
I don't know what's in. Okay, I'll tell you what's in them, as far as I know. Hey, Rosie. So, alright, so this one is a cream filled, like a saffron. I think it's cream filled. These are Kanafa ones. I got 2 of the Kanafa because I know Salah's gonna want one of those. This is like a Nutella star. This is a moon, pistachio moon, because moon star, Ramadan. This is a lotus filled Biscoff donut. Okay.
forgive me if I'm wrong here, Foodie, but aren't you supposed to be eating all 6 of those donuts? I mean, I think when the person who sponsored you put that into their request, I imagine it was to eat all 6 donuts, not share one with Salah. However, I think the likelihood of Salah seeing a single donut is going to be entirely unlikely.
Hey John, there should be pistachio in the middle. That's my only complaint. Biscoff, I know I have some cookie butter in my cupboard, but we never eat it. Have you tried it, Em? Not everybody with diabetes loses a foot, by the way.
No, but people who tend to be going down the road that you are and neglecting your condition in the manner that you do, they're the ones that tend to lose a foot, Chantal. So stop trying to trick yourself, because you're going exactly down that road at breakneck speed, to be honest.
I can't believe all the time we had to wait. Like, they sent us to, like...
Shut the fuck up!
Oh, for God's sake. Are you still going to go on about this wait in the ER? You know, there's one thing I really dislike in people, and that's, like, entitlement. You know, she thinks, I'm a celebrity. I mean, I had to wait for 3 hours, you know, in the emergency room. I mean, how bad's that? You know, I mean, I should be the priority. Doesn't people get that? It's supposed to be me. I'm supposed to come first. I don't care what other people have got going on. Yeah, I don't care if they're sort of needing CPR. I'm more important, alright? My time is precious. They should be paying me to sit here in this waiting room. I bloody hate that. I really do. It really grates on me, that does. Because, you know, there are people who are going through worse things in emergency rooms. There are people who are arriving there having had news that their loved ones are in a very serious condition. And actively, for some people in that waiting room, their lives are falling apart before their very eyes. And they're trying to make sense of it all. And you've got this whiny, petulant preschooler screaming that she's not being paid enough attention, and why should she have to wait? I need to find calm. I need to start meditating. That's what I need to do. Do yoga. Find a zen place in my head.
Oh my god. Why does my hair do that? I hate it. I'm cutting it off. The pleasure receptors are like overloading, guys.
Yeah, along with your blood sugar levels. Oh, gotta get the money shots in for the feeders.
What ones did you get in Qatar? No, you're not blocked. Thank you. Oh, Rayu! I forgot about your meat pie. Your tortilla. I do have some ground beef. But thank you so much for your, so I'll have to put that in the works. I just forgot. Thank you, Rayu.
She just forgot, and she can't refund you because she's got a very expensive ER visit to pay for.
It's because of the, like in the PayPal I can keep track, but I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Has a good message. Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, and don't think you're going to get your money back, alright?
Whole milk can spike your sugar? What? What the hell? Why? You can't have anything. I don't want to live this way.
Oh, don't worry, Chantal. At the rate you're going, it won't be for very much longer.
Make some water with a little apple cider. I need to get some apple cider vinegar. I heard it actually does. I've seen it actually work in real time on people for blood sugar. 12 grams of sugar in milk? That's insane. I guess because, you know, it's like a food meant to raise a baby animal. It needs to have sugar.
Have you been looking at TikTok again, Chantal? This apple cider vinegar trick? You know, if that actually worked, every health service around the world would be prescribing it en masse, and it would save them a bleeding fortune. So, the fact you think that that's going to work or have any effect whatsoever, given all the other stuff you shove in your gob, is quite frankly laughable.
Actually, the Cheesecake Factory? You're working on cheesecake one. Oh, yeah, recipe. We got 3 meals out of that.
Oh, yeah, I think I can smell shite.
Bullshit. Oh, excuse me. I've got allergies. I'm allergic to bullshit. Shit. Sorry. There we go again. Sorry.
Salah devoured the rest of the cheesecake, and what he couldn't even finish that Parmesan pizza. There was still a good, like, third left. Like, we got 3 meals out of that.
Sure, Jan.
Bullshit. Absolute bollocks. Oh dear. Oh, excuse me.
Drive Bees, not to Night Lovato because it's not good. The roads are nasty. Like, it was really wet.
I bet everybody in Kuwait, when they heard that, breathed an enormous sigh of relief that you weren't going to be on the road tonight, Chantal. It's all clear. It's all safe to come out now. You can go about your business. Chantal's not coming out tonight. You're quite safe.
I can't find a good buffet here. There's like maybe 1 or 2 buffets that are in hotels. But, hi Amy. Oh,
It's just as well. If Chantal went to an all-you-can-eat buffet, she'd probably bankrupt the place. What can I say about Julia? You can clearly see in her eyes the fear. I mean, you know, she says, oh, from now on I'm going to respect their boundaries. You're not respecting Julia's boundaries. She doesn't want to be picked up. She's gone absolutely rigid. Everything in her mannerisms and her expression are screaming, help! Forcing yourself on animals, squeezing them like you do, crushing them in your big blooming hamburger helper mittens. Leave her a bloody alone. God's sake. He asks, was that donut all you've eaten today? Come on, are you brand new? You don't really know Chantal very well, do you? Didn't you see her last video? The last live she did, where she was out in a boot at the Cheesecake Factory, pounding down food there to the extent that it made her sick. And that was like, what, about an hour after she'd had that curry?
yeah. I grew up on the Never Ending.
These women's taste buds are completely decimated, aren't they? I mean, who can go from eating sugary donuts to pickles?
I had to go to triage. Like, hey, lovely lips. We get there, go to triage. He put the wrong thing in the system. I don't know what he put, I forget. But anyway, because the doctor, they sent us to, then we go see.
And you didn't think to challenge them at any stage? You didn't think to say, excuse me, why am I having x-rays for a bite? You know, could have saved yourself a few hours of waiting there. But you know, the fact, and I do laugh at this because Salah's expression on those videos, Salah's expression on that video spoke absolute volumes. It really did. You could just see the light fading from his eyes as he spent longer and longer trapped in your vicinity.
See a doctor. He didn't even look at my wound. We just said cat, like he's like cat scratch, cat bite, whatever. He sends us off to an x-ray and then to like minor surgeries where people get things cut open and they have like blessure, like they get like hurt.
And this is why, Chantal, everybody has said to you that you really should have been using your time productively, because you've got so much of it, to learn the language of the country that you're staying in. You'd have been able to communicate with the doctor. If you're ever in a situation where they might not have such a strong grasp of English, or there might be a misunderstanding somewhere, if you'd actually taken the time to learn the language, you could have corrected them on that. But you didn't learn it, so you couldn't. And you had a lot of time wasted. Yeah, time that you couldn't be stuffing down that Cheesecake Factory leftovers. And you were stuck with each other, both of you, miserable. I love that the most.
It was the wrong department. But they did rebandage my stuff, and she's like, you don't even need bandages. Hey, Carolina. So I go back to triage because the doctor was like, well, there's nothing.
That's a slight change in the story she told the other day, which was she said that the wound, they didn't need to cover it. They didn't want to cover it, and it was okay being left open to the air.
Yesterday.
But they did clean the wounds very well, and they said I don't need a bandage. I just need to clean it with soap and water, every once in a while, and that's what I'll do.
Now you're saying they did cover it up. You've got to pick a lane, Chantal, and you've really got to start writing some of your stories down, because these inconsistencies are what make everybody disbelieve you on every single thing you say, because you're an unreliable narrator.
We went back to the ER doctor. It was a different one. He's like, there's nothing in the system about the bite, just a scratch. And I'm like, what? Because like, if you have a bite in that, you need like certain... Yeah, there was an x-ray. I don't know. Because they thought that I had a bigger wound. The guy looked at it. He's like, they're superficial. Oh, the bite was too close to the joint? Okay, maybe to see how far down to see if there was any internal damage, I guess. We didn't wait too long for the x-ray, at least, but 16 to 20 hour? Oh, wow. Actually, yeah, YouTube lover, Canada's worse, too. This wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, for example, our NHS system is completely overwhelmed. There have been people who have spent entire weekends in corridors in A&E units because there's not been the beds to put the patients in. It's not been the room in the hospitals. And I have to say here, I absolutely salute and have the utmost of respect for any NHS worker, because they are really against it. Their job is unfathomably hard because of the shortage of beds and the decisions that they're having to make on a daily basis. Honestly, I do. Honestly, I salute every single one of them, and I wish we weren't in the position that we are in this country, where our NHS system is on the brink of collapse, really. And if that goes, if we lose that very important treatment avenue, if we no longer have an NHS and it becomes a privatised system, much like the American model, there will be lots of people who will simply fall victim to their illnesses and will PA because they won't be able to afford the treatment to keep them going.
And, the hospital was huge, so we walked around a lot and just found a lot of, quiet places to sit. Because we had a number, so at least when your number's up. In Canada, the...
Yes, Chantal, your number most certainly is up.
Other years I've been to, you don't know, they don't tell you. You have to keep going to bug them.
Oh, you're one of those. Yeah. Oh, well, we knew you were one of those, actually, when you were whining and complaining in the waiting room.
Oh, guys, we've been waiting 5 minutes and nobody's come up and told me anything. What's going on? It's just not on. I've told them I'm really important. I'm a celebrity. Yeah, I'm a public figure. Surely I should get better treatment than this.
So, she's just said, I'm one of those entitled arseholes who keeps going up to the staff and bugging them, because they've not got enough to do already, Chantal. Dealing with all the patients that they've got and working down the list of priorities like they are, people who are a good deal sicker than you were. Your wound was self-inflicted, because everybody told you not to keep petting the cats, but you wouldn't listen, and so that was a result. So it was of your own stupidity. Really not different from somebody that goes out on a Friday night, knocks back about 27 points, and then ends up in accident and emergency because they've injured themselves. Obviously, they have people that are more important, Chantal. People that have got genuine needs that outweigh yours. And quite frankly, when you keep going up and bugging them, that's just slowing things down, because they're having to stop whatever it is they're doing and turn around and smile through gritted teeth and explain patiently to you that you'll be called when you'll be called. They'll call your number when they're ready for you, not before. So please return to the waiting room and sit the flaming hell down. It's people like you, Chantal, that really make things worse in the health system. It really is. And you're sitting there going on about eating donuts. You know, oh, if I want to eat donuts, I'll eat donuts. Further burdening the health system.
I got a rabies and a tetanus.
Sure, Jan.
When are you having the next one, Chantal? Rabies shots come in a series. If you don't go for another rabies shot, we can assume one of two things. One, that you never had the rabies and tetanus in the first place, because when you found out you was in the wrong place, you threw a fit and walked out, which I believe, honestly, that's what happened, because you're that kind of person to throw a wobbly like that. And, you know, so if we don't hear from you that you've got to go back for another rabies shot, and you'd probably try and make content out of it, that's something else I believe. You know, you'd try to get as much footage as you possibly could before and after from the rabies shot for content, and like, oh guys, it's making me feel so sick, I feel so ill, please donate to my PayPal, I need some donuts and sugar and shit to make myself feel better, thank you so much guys. She'd make content out of it. So the fact that if we don't start seeing content along those lines, if she doesn't go for any further rabies injections, you can assume she never had them in the first place. Much like the doctor visit, where she said the doctor looked at her like she'd gone crazy. You know, that never happened, because Chantal, if she can, will always show it. Like she did with the emergency room. She filmed that for content, but didn't film the doctor's visit from the other week.
I think I can smell shite.
So actually we paid 10 KD for everything.
Liar!
Like, once you go to triage, that first area in my video.
Now, I've seen some calculations out on Twitter, and your estimate, Chantal, is way off. It's cost you a great deal more than 10 KD. I've seen sort of upper limits going towards over 130 KDs, because that's what it would cost for the individual injections that you've had, the X-ray and the consultation. So you're talking out your arse again, Chantal. I mean, I'd charge you double for your stupidity to begin with. Let's put it that way.
Oh, Beezers. I find that so disturbing, honestly.
You know what I find disturbing? People who actively fund the addiction of another person by giving them money to their PayPal account and telling them to go out and eat things that are definitely not diabetic friendly, hastening their inevitable decline. That's what I find disturbing, to be honest.
I sit in the shower, but for voodoo, I have my way of doing it. I don't, like, rub them down, really, but you can do what you can, you know? Why do you care? Are you God? Like, why do you care what I do for voodoo? Seriously. Like, what are you here to, like, why are you here virtual signaling what I can and can't do? I'd like to know.
Here we go!
Oh, steady on there, Chantal. Oh dear. You've triggered her by asking her about her feet. I mean, to be fair, Chantal, you were the one that said that you didn't wash your feet, that you just let the water run over them. It was you who said that. So if you didn't want people to know, You should have just not said anything about it in the first place.
Right, Tiffany? Shit, I don't scrub my feet. If I go to hell, what does that matter to you? Like, really? We should always stand our ground. Yeah, I said in the shower, I never scrub my feet. But for voodoo, you have to, like, you know, I don't know. You're supposed to do what you can do. So, you sit in the shower. I don't really have a lot of room to sit in my shower, but, yeah. For voodoo, I rinse my feet. You're the foot washing police, exactly. And who cares if I sit to pray or stand to pray, or you don't know what I do to pray. You know, sometimes I don't sit. It depends how I'm feeling. It doesn't matter. What does that have to do with anything, Angel? Like, I think you need to go back to school. You're not too bright. What does choosing a religion have to do with anything?
Good. I can feel your anger.
These people don't know anything about, like, it depends on how I'm feeling. I do try to push myself, you know? I even did some on camera. It's not, like, too bad, but I try to do it as much as I can, you know? Non-Muslims commenting on Islamic prayer and voodoo. That's crazy. Us Muslims aren't pressed at all. Do you care how I do my voodoo? The only person who should care about that is God. You know what I mean? And just because I have donuts doesn't mean you don't know what else I ate today. You don't know if I overate. You know what I mean? Like, don't talk about something so...
Chantal, come on. You threw up in a blooming bathroom of a restaurant a couple of nights ago because you ate until you made yourself physically sick. I mean, it's just another disturbing element to this whole story, isn't it? Monetising your eating disorder.
What are you even talking about? I don't understand your sentence structure, whatever your name is. Hey, Becca! What are you talking about? I pray? I follow Islam, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like, why choose a religion I don't do? What? How do you know I don't do anything? Do you see me do voodoo? Do you see me pray? So just because you don't see me do it, like, you don't see anyone doing anything in their private time. So you're just gonna say, right? Teardrop? Like, it's so stupid. Please address exactly how you pray. How do we get here? Right? Like, what? I don't owe you anything. I owe you 0. Yeah, I can barely speak English, Angel. Okay. Go take a hike. Goodbye. Like, you have no life. Like, you're always in here being negative. You clearly have so much time on your hands. I would just go get a life before you come in here worrying about how I wash my feet, how I pray. It's none of your business. Okay? I can't stand when people speak on things they don't know about. Exactly. That's the whole Gore World. That's what all of Gore World is. That's it. They always speak about crap they don't know anything about. Can you imagine someone like...
Chantal, you've been in Kuwait for over 2 years and you've still learned virtually nothing. You've not learnt the language. You don't even know how to convert the money. You don't even recognise the currency you're working with. You know, it's... You can't really tell people off and say, you guys know nothing, alright? You know nothing. You know nothing, Chantal, because you've never bothered to find out. The only thing you're interested in doing is eating and sleeping. That's the 2 things which occupy your mind. Beyond that, you don't care. So don't pretend like you do anything while you're there, that you're engaged in anything constructive, because you're not.
Yeah, but talking about Islam? Like... Yeah, okay. It's like taking diet advice from Shani.
Shani, I think, has actually lost some weight, apparently. She's thinner than you, Chantal. Oops, did I say that out loud? That's going to cause another rager, isn't it? She's going to start again in a minute, isn't she, about that?
I don't think so. Like, can you imagine? Yeah, I can kneel. Mm-hmm. Tell them you pee on your feet. Yeah, exactly. That's how I cleanse myself. I owe you 0, exactly. Who peed in my cornflakes? Angel Dum Dum, whatever her name was. I don't talk about your religion, diet, personal life. There's boundaries that should be respected. Yeah, true, teardrop. You're a normal, like, person, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know why it's so, like, weird it's so important to people. Like, they're always trying to disprove that I'm a Muslim, as if that's their right and their place to determine that.
Chantal, what you seem to keep forgetting is you're the one who made a big thing about your religion to begin with, and said that you were a Muslim revert, that you'd taken the Shahada, and that you were becoming Muslim. You brought that to the internet. You bring your diet to the internet. You bring Salah's infidelities to the internet. People are going to comment on it. If you don't want people to know, don't share to begin with. But you shared these things with us. You wept in your car and screamed about how you gave your cats away for a man with a shit fetish. Now, we would have never known that. Well, we did kind of know because Kai Bella leaked the screenshots. But if you'd never addressed it in the first place, in the way that you did, and you've come to the internet after that event and said about finding pictures of very big boobed women on Salah's phone, and that your best friend had a man who cheated on her emotionally, which was very strange, and we all knew you were talking about yourself. So Salah, to your best of your knowledge, has cheated on you at least 3 times, and that's something you've brought to the internet on all of those occasions. You've brought all your diet to the internet and said to people, guys, I'm going to be so good from now. I'm going to live on lettuce leaves and chicken. Yeah. Oh, guys, I found it too hard. I just couldn't stick to it. Sorry.
That's like, how, what kind of, like, claiming you're a Christian and that you work for Jesus and you body shame other women? Like, what? And what exactly makes me not Muslim? Just because I swear? Like, I'm not perfect. I'm a revert working on myself. Like, I'm completely new. Even 2 years is new to a religion. From somebody who's raised as a child, yes, it's new.
She's getting redder. Blood pressure is rising. Oh, Chantal, you keep going on about that you're working on yourself, that you're trying, but you're really not. You have not made one infinite decimal point of effort or progress. You're still the same awful person. It's just that you're now wearing a hijab and chucking the Islamophobia comments at anybody that dares question you.
And it's no one's business. Like, just because people feel they have the right to comment doesn't mean they do. It doesn't mean they do. And this is how I'm going to respond to it. I have a right to, just like everyone else.
Hoisted by your own petard there, Chantal. You say you've got the right to respond. You have. But then, do you see that means that we have the right to respond? If you're allowed to comment on something, Chantal, then we're allowed to comment on something. If you think that you can hold other people to account, we can hold you to account. You see how it works?
Like, she was just saying some really, like, things that, like, that I like to tease animals. Can you guys tell me where I tease the animals that we go visit?
Please see your video of the other night where you gave the cat a sprinkling of food and you were laughing and saying, "Oh, I love it when animals cry, yeah, it warms my funny bones, it really does, I love it, yeah." It was on video, and the cat was trying to get at the kibbles that were in your bag. That's why it was pawing at the bag, that's why it was trying to get in there. It was after the food. So you were teasing it. That was exactly what you were doing. I mean, there's evidence out there of you actually actively teasing that cat and laughing at its poor position that it's in, you know, that it's starving and it's on the streets. That's hilarious to you. Just like you found it hilarious about the camels in the desert eating rubbish. You thought that was funny too. What a despicable human being you really are.
You know, listen to her talk about my behavior, which is because I have health issues. Eat and lack of exercise when she's visibly bigger than me. Let's do a weigh-in challenge. I don't mind. I don't want to give her attention because she's scum. Have you guys not?
Shani, like I say, has lost a lot of weight. She's definitely thinner than you, Chantal, so maybe you need to look again. Your eyesight really is starting to play you up, isn't it?
Not seen the videos of how she, like, you come for me for how I treat my animals? My litter box right now is clean. Have you not seen? She hasn't, like, did you see her litter box? Did you see?
Yeah, we saw her litter box, and yes, it was full of excrement, animal excrement. But then again, Chantal, so was yours at the villa. It was that full that the cats were then going and peeing and pooing in all other places because their litter box was completely full. And what I've seen of your litter box, you seem to just be pouring a fresh layer of cat litter over everything that's in there because it's like a bloody mountain. So, you know, you're equally bad in that regard. Nobody wins any prizes here. You're both shit owners.
Exactly. Hey, L5, nice to see you. You do ask the street cats if they want to go home with you. They say, no, you can't. They don't understand English. I want them to come home with me.
Why? You don't look after the ones that you've ever had. You didn't look after Sam. You didn't look after BBJ. Tim died in horrible conditions, locked in a room. You've ignored Julia unless you want something from her, you know.
Oh, wait, let me grab... Come in, Julia. It's time to... She wants her prop again.
The cat's matted. Doesn't look in great condition whatsoever. So, quite frankly, Chantal, I am bloody overjoyed that you've not got another cat and brought it into your cesspit of an apartment, because every curated cat out there on the streets is better off. Julia was better off until you trapped her and brought her into your house. Well, your apartment, sorry.
Yeah, I know, Glass of Moon. That's what I just said not long ago. I shouldn't have supported her. It did bother me. I was like, should I be doing this? Should I, you know?
Get the fuck out of here.
No, you didn't. You didn't wrestle with your conscience, Chantal. Not for 1 minute. You were up Shani's arse because Shani was sending you goodness knows how much in super chats at the time. You didn't wrestle with your conscience and think, oh, should I really be taking money off a horrible person? No, you didn't. You ate it up. Literally. Yeah, ate it up. You know, oh, keep giving me money, Shani, yeah, keep stroking my ego. I love it.
Past, I went through that kind of thing. But to be judged with by someone like that is ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Well, you're judging Shani right now. So you're doing exactly the thing that you've accused Shani of doing. You're accusing Shani and saying, what right has she got to judge me? Well, conversely, what right have you got to judge Shani? Like I said, you're both equally morally reprehensible beings.
I'm healthier than her on like every level. I can walk.
Oh dear. Oh gosh. The bullshit detector's going off this morning. Oh, sorry about that. That was just my phone. Good grief, the bullshit detector scale's going off this morning. It really is. Oh, for goodness sake, Chantal. Yeah, right, just...
Walk more than her? Like...
Okay, you walk more than her. Really? You're out of breath going to the kitchen, which is literally 4 steps. You drink water and you're out of breath. You were in such a state the other night at the restaurant that everybody thought they were going to end up having to call emergency services to where you were at because they thought you were going to PA on live stream. So when you talk about your health being better than Shani's in every single way, girl, you are so deluded. You really, really are. You really, really need a serious wake-up call. And I mean a serious wake-up call. And maybe then you'll start taking things seriously. Until then, you're just going to continue to block your ears and go, la 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 la, I'm not listening.
I'm visibly smaller.
That is one big pile of shit.
Just don't even... How do you comfort someone better than you?
How how do you come from someone better than you? That's a true narcissistic statement right there. How dare you? How dare you question me when I'm better than you? I always say, if you give people, enough room, they will show you exactly who they are. And Chantal continues to do this. And that comment just that she made about her being better than Shani, because she's convinced that she is better than Shani, and like I say, that's the narcissist in her that makes her feel that she's better than everybody else.
It's weird. I don't know. I don't like to say better than, but
you just did. I mean, I'm about 1 hour into this almost. And the one thing that's completely skipped my mind is that it's Ramadan. It's the holy month. How could have I forgotten about that? And you're there raging and swearing in a hijab, and you're still going to try and take the moral high ground. No, you don't have the moral high ground, Foodie.
I have the high ground.
And I know people say, well, that was all fine whenever you were... I wasn't friends. I was friendly for like a short period of time. And then after that one streak...
Oh, yes, you were. You were friends with her. And you were friendly with her because she was giving you lots of money. Please excuse my dog barking in the background. He's seen a squirrel go by, I think.
Stream, 1 or 2 streams, I never went back. But you can say the same for her, for these people. Same thing with that crazy Aisha. They have such a problem with my behaviors now. But whenever they were giving me money, whenever they were a Beezer, they had no problem with it. Now that they're shunned, they have a whole problem with everything I do. Stay mad.
And you didn't have a problem with them when they were giving you money. So that makes you a hypocrite, Chantal. Calling out people now on their behaviour, but you weren't calling them out when they were throwing the dollars at you, were you?
You can't even have kids. Oh, I struck a chord with someone. Imagine coming in here and shaming for someone for not being able to have kids. I don't want kids. I don't want kids. Trust me. I'm happy. Hey, Terry Berry. There's a lot of people that can't have kids. You just shamed how many people who can't have kids. And what's more disgusting is people will say you ate yourself out of a uterus. I'm pretty sure that was Perfectly Imperfect who said that.
I really don't know about that, to be honest. But from what I've seen and heard was the fact that you were warned that your weight was having a detrimental effect on your fertility, that it was causing you to have more cysts, and you kept going anyway. So in effect, you kind of did, through inaction, by not sort of going, well, you know what, I really want to have children. I mean, you've just said you don't. So, I mean, it's a moot point anyway, isn't it? If you're saying, Chantal, that you don't want children, it's a moot point. Why would you be bothered about people saying you ate yourself out of a uterus anyway? You've just said you don't want kids, so why does it matter to you?
And now you want to cry that somebody, it wasn't even me, but they're blaming it on me with no proof, put a picture of your adult children as a fake thing, and you want me to feel bad for you for anything that happens to you after you've come for me for years? Screw you. I don't give a shit. And I don't care that you dox people, whatever. I'm not going to cry about it, okay? Seriously.
There's no cure for being a cunt.
Oh, pious Muslim, raging at Ramadan, swearing, being openly disrespectful, making horrible comments. You came after that woman's children. When you come after someone's children, Chantal, and you would know this if you'd ever been a parent, and thank God you're not, can I just say that? When you come for somebody's children, all bets are off. You don't come after the kids. Yeah, you come after kids, you're making it deeply personal. And when that person strikes back at you, that was your own fault. You shouldn't have made a sock account, and you have lots of sock accounts, Chantal. I know you're going to deny that you've got any, but everybody knows you have. Pondu accounts, Sarah Lee. We could go on. So we know you've got other accounts that you troll under.
Number one, you're not a doctor. The gynecologist, oncologist themselves said that this is not diet related. Okay? So, like, if I did have kids, I wouldn't be a shit parent. I wouldn't be bullying others.
Oh dear. Right, Chantal. I'm going to put this as calmly as I can. You would have been an absolutely horrendous parent. You really would. You'd have been so bad that I honestly think that you'd have probably lost custody of said children. So I am so happy that you've never had any. And that decision was ultimately taken away from you when you had the hysterectomy. So I think we can all be grateful that you haven't inflicted your lack of care, your abhorrent behaviours and your neglect on an innocent child. The way you've treated your pets is evidence enough of why you shouldn't have pets or have children, to be honest.
On the internet to survive and feed them. I wouldn't have a fat shaming channel to try to raise money to take my kids to Disneyland. And I sure as hell wouldn't be with someone who's going to kick my son in the head and then simp for him later and let the state.
Well, given half a chance, you would have still been with he who shall not be named, and he was guilty of attacking 2 women and went to prison for it, and is currently in court on another charge. So, given half a chance, you would have been with someone who could have ultimately done that to a child, because anybody that can attack 2 women, and you said they were abusive to you too, the person in question. So on that basis, they'd have been abusive to the child as well. And you would have absolutely been with that person, given half a chance. So, like I say, eminently grateful that you haven't got kids and you can't have them. Thank God you can't have kids.
Take my kids away. Because I'm too fat and lazy to take care of them. Not going to happen.
And like I say, this is all really a very moot point because you said you don't want kids. So why are you getting all steamed up, Chantal? Why are you pitching a fit? None of it should matter to you, should it? What people say, you know, they say, oh, you ate yourself into infertility. But it shouldn't matter to you, should it? Because you've gone on the record and said that you don't want children. So why does it matter then? Why are you bothered? That sort of comment would only matter to someone who actually wants children. You don't, so it shouldn't matter to you, should it? It should be water off a duck's back.
And someday, if Allah wants to bless me with adopted children or some kind of other family, it will happen.
But Chantal, you just said you don't want children. So why are you now going, oh, if Allah blesses me and I get adopted children? But you don't want children, you just said. So why would you go through the process of adoption? And I hate to say it.
You don't know me. You don't know how responsible I would be as a parent. You have no idea. But I could.
Past behaviours are a good predictor of future behaviours, right? And having seen all of your past behaviours, the neglect of your pets being just one of the many things that I could talk about, but we'll just focus on that for a second. So the way you treated your pets, the way you continue to treat your pets, you made a live stream out of burying your hamster, for God's sake. You know, you'd have been using that kid for all the content you could get out of it. You neglectful to all of your pets. Therefore, we can safely say that you would have been equally remiss in your duties as a parent. And like I say, I honestly believe if you ever have had children, you would have certainly lost custody of them.
I don't have a hate channel. Like, I don't.
Sure, Jan.
Like, these people just, like, blame me. Like, no proof, whatever. I don't have any fake accounts at all.
Liar!
At all. And I don't make fake accounts. I don't.
You hang around in all the chats, you watch all the reactors. You're there, lurking in all the chats, seeing what people are saying about you.
I'm not going to take the time. I'm not obsessed like these people on Twitter, okay? I'm not obsessed like you, perfectly imperfect. I'm not obsessed like you, and I don't search for your family information, all right?
No, because you couldn't be bothered to, so you got one of your minions to do it for you. And Chantal, you're still trying to tell everybody there's nothing wrong with your eyesight when your nose is about 2 inches away from the camera. And you're still trying to tell everybody,
No, my eyesight's fine, guys. Oh, hang on, let me get a bit closer. Let me get closer. Hang on. Oops, sorry, just butted the screen with my nose. Oh, what's that say? Oh, I don't care anyway.
Everyone, I really don't. I don't use sock accounts. And they've never been able to prove that I have one.
oh yes, we did.
No, I mean, that's fine. I just don't understand the context for it, that's all. So, yeah. I'm definitely not gonna, like, they don't think that people make troll accounts. It happens. Like, especially to instigate, you know? I have before when. I don't have any troll accounts.
Yes, you do. And you could barely look at the screen then, seeing you and yourself, like,
Oh gosh, I'm so full of shit, you know. I can't even sort of look at the screen really and go, oh, no, I didn't. I'm looking off here over to the other side of the room. No, I ain't got any accounts. I haven't got any sock accounts.
She doesn't speak Calmate means calm.
judging by this rage and by the amount of yawning she's doing, perhaps it's time that we got Dada Salah. Dada, can you come and put Chantal down for her nap, please?
Does Salah have a doorbell on the floor outside his bedroom? No, he doesn't. Why are people obsessed with the weirdest things? Why would he have a doorbell? And why would that be tea? If he
Well, it would be tea, Chantal, because it would clearly demonstrate that if Salah lives there, I don't believe he really does, but if he's there at least, which is some of the time, when he is there, he wants nothing to do with you. So he's got his own little man cave with his gaming computer and all the rest of it. And it's an area that he walls off from you. So the lock on the door and the doorbell are all designed to further remove himself from your vicinity and say, look, it is entirely on my terms whether I engage with you or not. So if you want me, you have to ring the doorbell, and then I'll decide if I'm going to engage with you or not. But it's got to be on my terms. So that's what the tea is, Chantal. It's because it is further evidence of a disintegrating relationship. And when I say disintegrating relationship, I almost sort of squirm inside, because there is no relationship. But that's the only way I can sort of characterise the decline of the two of you. You know, you have a couples channel. At one point you were making content fairly regularly, and that's fallen off a cliff lately, and everybody can see it. He doesn't play Crazy Frog. He stopped appearing on camera unless he absolutely has to. And the ER visit was one of those occasions where he had to be there, and the look on his face was of a person who wanted to be absolutely anywhere else than in that ER room with you. So it's plain for all to see, Chantal. Those that have got good working eyes. I only have one good working eye, and I can blooming see that this is done. It's dead. Yeah, it's final. It's finished.
Who cares if it's still a fake account? I don't make fake accounts of people's families on here. Like, what are you talking about? We're talking.
But that's what you did, Chantal. You created fake accounts of perfectly imperfect children. Used their images, her children's images, to create fake accounts pretending to be perfectly imperfect children. And use it to say how embarrassed you would be to have perfectly imperfect as a mother.
Why are people even saying that there's a doorbell? Like, I don't get it. Like, why are people zooming in on the door?
It just shows that he's only willing to engage with you on his own terms, and that beyond that he wants to be left completely alone. Doesn't want to be seen with you, doesn't want to do content with you. That's why, Chantal.
Okay, I guess I have to be super specific, okay? People are so weird. I don't have any YouTube fake accounts at all, period.
Lie, la, lie, lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie, lie, la, lie, lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie, la, 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 lie.
Like, there's 8 billion people in the world. You think I'm gonna stick with someone who, like, doesn't love me and doesn't want me in the room?
Of course!
I have to ring a doorbell? Like, people don't make any sense.
Yeah, I absolutely believe you would, because you're very short on options, and when you're short on options, you tend to stay in the situation that you were in, and you know you've got not many options. Speaking of Salah, he isn't in the chat tonight. Where is he? Is he busy? He's probably catching up on all that Red Room time he missed out on, eh? And he had to sit with you the other night.
He didn't have the bedroom door locked, Natalie. Like, this is the thing with people just hearing what they want and taking anything they want for reality. It locked itself. I showed the door handle. The door handle came off.
Right.
It isn't broken. I mean, we know you try to sort of make out that it's broken, but it isn't, and it wasn't. And it's just that, like I say, Salah's completely disengaged, and he wants to have his own space, and you stick in your space, and that's about as far as he's prepared to participate. So we know what we saw. Don't try and gaslight Chantal, because it's not going to work. The footage is there for all to see, and it cannot be argued with.
It accidentally locked, like, it got jammed. So, he doesn't lock the door.
Get the fuck out of here.
And even if he locked the door, what is that? Is that like a clear indication that...
Oh, you guys, he doesn't lock the door. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying he locks the door? That's just silly. But, you know, anyway, if he does, I mean, what of it?
Chantal, thank you. You've just confirmed that Salah locks the door. You always tell on yourself.
Emergency news broadcast of me cooking friggin' spicy noodles. And this proves that she was lying about the spice level of her noodles. Okay. One, who gives a shit if that was true? That doesn't prove anything. That just proves that for the video, I made my noodles stronger, which you have no proof that I didn't because you didn't see me cook them. And this time I decided to enjoy the noodles and make them less spicy because it's not about the content for the video specifically. Like, people are just like so... Oh.
It matters, Chantal, because that's what they paid for at the end of the day. The person paid for you to eat 2 packets of those noodles made according to instructions, and you didn't do that. So you owe the person a refund.
I reported you at the hospital. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Good for you. Report me. Listen, you can report me all you want to any authorities. Okay, you've been doing it, I'm sure, for how long? And I'm still here. And if I get kicked out, oh well, I'll deal and go to another country. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. Get a life.
But what about Julia? What about Salah, your beloved? Don't you care what happens to them? I mean, Salah can't come everywhere with you, can he? He's limited in what countries he can go to. No, you don't care, do you, about them? Never have. So they're completely inconsequential. And that's why you can just go, yeah, who cares? I don't care if I get kicked out and have to go somewhere else.
Seriously, get a life. And eat shit. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Now, Chantal, don't try and get Salah all excited by offering to eat shit. You know, you're trying to get him excited, trying to entice him into the chat. He's busy. He's in the red room. By the way, nice thing to say on Ramadan.
You know what? The worst that would probably happen? They would find me, which they're probably not even going to bother doing. And they're going to say, just don't film in the hospital. Oh, but you really did something there. No life, wallah. I don't even know Aunt Anna. There was no signs or anything. Like, we didn't film people's personal information, you know?
You filmed people without their permission, and you could see the faces of those people. It was like when you went to McDonald's in Kuwait City, and you were filming all the children there, which you're not supposed to do. You just don't care. You know, I mean, really, you just don't give a crap. You know, it's kind of sort of like I say, it's the narcissist in you. It's all about you and creating your content that you know, to make money. So whatever situation you're in, so whether you're at the McDonald's or whether you're at the ER room and you want to make content out of that, it doesn't matter who else is around. They're inconsequential because it's about satisfying your wants and your needs and your desires.
Everyone's a Kuwait expert. That's actually insane. You need to be reported to have a mental health, right?
Yeah, everybody probably is a Kuwait expert. There are people on here in the community that know a lot more about Kuwait than you do, Chantal. I mean, you've only been living there just over 2 years and you know absolutely bugger all still.
How mature, turd drop. Like, it's so bizarre that adults come up with these names. Like, they're 5. Good on you, turd drop.
What about some of the names that you've come up with, Chantal, for other reactors? Mr. Cardigan, Girly Bread, other names that I can't mention because they had racial connotations.
Imagine watching my vlog, which is completely innocent, then going right on Google and going, she's not allowed to do that. I'm reporting. I'm gonna get you.
Well, if I wanted to really cause trouble, Chantal, I would send them the footage from the McDonald's trip at Kuwait City when all the children were running around. And you could clearly identify them and all the other people as well. That would be a far better example if I was going to report you for anything, but I ain't going to because you ain't that important, love. So you can do your little tappy taps on the table and pretend you're trolling us all by going, oh, I'm going to just take you off and I'm just going to do this. It doesn't... Well, carry on, love.
The x-ray thing. Hey, one called Joe. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I like your imitations. That's exactly what they do. Chantal buried her hamster on the beach. I'm gonna have a heart attack. Chantal, you have a very vile... I'm gonna head over to Salah's sister's paint channel that she hasn't been on in a fucking year. Oh! Do you know your sister-in-law used to have an STD 3 fucking years ago?
Oh, you're so pissy, aren't you? Is it 'cause Salah's gone to the red room? Did he ever shout? Did he shout at you and say, I tell you time and time again, Chantal, do not touch the cats. Feed them if you want to, but don't touch. No touchy. And you just touched them. And now we are owing a big hospital bill. And I have less money to spend in the red room. And it's all your fault. And he's probably said, no more takeaway, because you're on a very constrained budget now, thanks to your own stupidity.
I'm responding to hateful people who come for me, my religion, my husband, everything. Harassing a sister was a new low.
No, don't try and turn it into sort of religion and say everybody's been Islamophobic. People are simply pointing out the fact, Chantal, the absolutely cast iron fact that you have absolutely no interest in Islam or the religion. All the hijab is to you is a means for you to hide the extent to what your face has grown. That's all it is to you. It's not about anything else. You don't respect anything about it. I mean, you're here raging and swearing on the holy month of Ramadan, one of the most important times in the year, and you're sitting there raging. So does that make us Islamophobic because we hold you accountable? No, we're pointing out quite correctly that you have absolutely zero interest in the religion. You've not read the Quran, you've not observed any of the traditions. Like I say, you're sitting there raging and it's Ramadan. What do you expect people to say?
Because you think, without any proof whatsoever, because you think that I am behind some accounts that having a picture, which must be public somehow, by the way, maybe you should tighten your security, like you always say for me, of adult children you have in my comments, you think that that gives you the right to go and harass?
So by that comment then, that you just said, oh, you know, it's public, anyone can see it, perhaps you should, upgrade your security. That shows that you've been looking, and shows that you're behind it. Because coming after other people's family members is something that you're well known for. You've done it with Yabba, you've done it with FFG, and now you've done it with Perfectly Imperfect. You did it with Dee Dee's mom. You, got all your Beezers to harass an elderly lady who had nothing to do with the situation at all. She just had the misfortune to be the mother of Dee Dee, and Dee Dee was with he who shall not be named, and that's why you went on a rage, and you got everybody to and you've doxed her, and you can say, oh well, they showed the room number. Yes, but they didn't say where. You doxed the whole entire address of that place, and then said to your Beezers, encourage them to harass her. And that was an innocent lady, an innocent old lady who had done nothing to you whatsoever. So it's absolutely part of your modus operandi.
I don't look that. It was the lighting, and it was that, I don't know, it was that situation, because I've used, Salah has filmed me many times. Actually, he filmed the videos in the hospital are filmed with his iPhone, so I don't know what to tell you. Leave innocent family.
So what you're saying is that Salah is ultimately on the hook for that, and you don't give a shit if he gets into trouble for it. Right. You realise he could get deported, don't you?
You like my face? I'll turn my filter off. Ah! I look haggard and tired. Everyone wears filters on social media. Are you kidding? The more popular the influencer, the more heavily filtered they are, trust me. Nobody comes for them.
You've still got a ton of filters on there, Chantal. Go and grab the GoPro. Do this with the GoPro. Huh? And then we'll talk business then, yeah? But you're still filtered up.
Does your mother worry about how unhealthy you are? How sick I look? Why do I look sick? I look normal. And if my mother worries about me or not, I'm 40. What is my mom worrying about me gonna do?
Well, one would hope, Chantal, that you'd have enough respect for your mother to not want to worry her unduly. But there again, like I said, it's the narcissist in you. You don't care about anyone else's thoughts or feelings or anything at all. You're the star of the show, in your head, and That's all you see. Everybody else is secondary, inconsequential. Doesn't matter what they think. You're the only person that matters. Okay, I've just spotted a comment in the section. A really daft comment. Like I say, I won't mention the name, but diabetes is completely reversible. You'll do it when you're ready. It can only be reversed in a relatively short space of time. And if you make the changes quickly enough, if they catch it early. Chantal has been diabetic now for a good many years. That the amount of damage she has done to her body in that time, that isn't reversible. So, with all due respect to the person who posted this, you're talking out your arse, okay? And that's the problem you've got, Chantal, is you've surrounded yourself with enablers. And that is not the sort of people you need. You don't need enablers around you. You need people to tell you how it is, to hold you to account, to get you to make the changes you need to make. I mean, you keep going on that you want to travel. Well, you're not going to be travelling anywhere, the condition you're in. When your eyesight's gone and your limbs have gone, what sort of quality of life do you expect to be enjoying then? Like I said, Salah won't be there. He'll have gone. He'll have been long gone. He's not going to wait on your hand and foot. Bringing it on yourself, because you know what the problem is. You've been told enough, and you don't care. So the thing that irritates me is that you're going to put strain on the health system, that there are going to be people, specialists, surgeons, eye doctors, all sorts of medical professionals, nurses, carers, who are all going to have to pick up the pieces because you just wanted to keep eating and eating and eating. It's all those people and society that picks up the bill for that. Doesn't come free. You know, so when you've got people that are having to dress you and change your dressings because you've got infections and they need to, you know, dress and wounds like that are healing so slowly, and you need to have surgeries, all those things and the care that's involved there, the people that have to get involved at that point to ensure you get a standard of care is monumental. And like I say, you put strain on a system that's already overstressed. And that's just the ultimate selfishness, isn't it, really? That you don't care. It's all about you and your gratification. Teardrop. Just, super chatting Chantal a couple of times now. That's really irresponsible, Teardrop. Don't you need that money for your groceries? I mean, it would save your husband having to go through the dustbins or eat hot dogs up off the floor, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's definitely another candidate for Specsavers. Get to your opticians. Have you not seen the car park? You not seen the trash everywhere right outside the building? Oh dear. You know. I wouldn't want to live there, thanks very much. It's so run down. I mean, when you went out to feed the cats on one of the lives, you could see what a bloody state it was in. Rubble and leftover bits of building materials and rubbish all over the place. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, yeah, if you're happy to live in that, Chantal, carry on.
And what's wrong with living in the ghetto anyway? Like, if you live in the ghetto, most people don't live there by choice. Like, you know, hey DLT, they're just so ignorant. Thanks, Barbara.
But you could live somewhere better. It's just that instead you've chosen to spend all your money on food, and that's where the majority of the money you make goes. When you were making 20,000 a month and spaffing it up the wall, you had plenty of opportunity there. You could have been living somewhere very nice right now.
Like, what does it matter if I go back to Canada or not? If I go back, it's going to be with my husband, number one. I'm not going back until then. If we go back, it's to travel in around Canada.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen, Chantal. He ain't getting into Canada, and you know that. You know that very well indeed. And you drew a visa run at the end of the month, so we'll see, won't we? But Salah will never go to Canada. He's got no chance. So, yeah. I don't know who you think you're fooling with that. Well, you think you're fooling some of your most ardent supporters.
I'm not going anytime soon, so you can keep waiting with your magnifying glass, and you don't win shit. You win what? What do you want? A medal? What do you win, but other than wasting your time on something that's not even gonna happen? Like, what? You go back, we win. Win what? I didn't know there was a competition. It's because you say my room. Because it is my room, too. It's also my room. Because I'm in that we, so it's my room, too. Like, why do people, like, they look for any little thing in what I say? It's so weird. Who cares if my stomach's in the way? What do you win? I'm fat and have a huge gut. What do you win? When I acknowledge that, you win nothing. Who cares? Do I look bothered? You look more bothered than me, so you lose. Take the L and choke on it.
No, Chantal, unfortunately, and ultimately, it's going to be you that loses. Loses more than you're caring to admit. Losing your sight, losing limbs, losing your so-called husband, losing your mobility, becoming, dependent upon dialysis, multi-organ failure, your heart giving up, your lungs filling with fluid because of congestive heart failure. Who knows which one of those is going to ultimately prove to be your unmaking, but it is coming, Chantal. Your body is showing you all the warning signs, and you're just happy to go on ignoring them because, like I say, you don't really care. And it's quite sad that you don't care. I would have thought if you had any real feelings for your so-called husband, you would be doing everything you could to change, because you'd want to get better for them. You'd want to sort of your parents to not worry about you anymore. Your mum, your sister, other family members. But you don't care, so what's the point, eh?
So yeah, which it would be easy to verify. 10 KD, okay. Expat price, 10 KD. Jill. I'm gonna turn into a pickle. 10 KD. If you're on a tourist, it's 20 KD. 20 to 30. But even when I was on a tourist, and I had to use, like, if you're on a tourist visa, going to the clinic is like 10 KD. And if you're an expat, it's 2 KD. Another cartoon. But even that, sometimes they're nice. And it's like 10 tourist, 20 to 30. I'm gonna turn into a pickle. 10 KD. If you're on a tourist, it's 20 KD. 20 to 30. But even when I was on a tourist, and I had to use, like, if you're on a tourist visa, going to the clinic is like 10 KD. And if you're an expat, it's 2 KD. Another cartoon. But even that, sometimes they're nice. And they see that you're married to an expat or something. And they let you get away with this smaller price because they're nice. So that has happened before. But
Chantal, you're still on a tourist visa. I don't know why she bothers with it. I don't know why she just carries on pretending. Everybody knows you're still on a tourist visa, and that shortly, by the end of the month, you will either disappear offline for a couple of days and nip across the border and back to renew your visa, or you'll end up in Canada because you'll have left him, and this will all have been one big grift, this whole sponsor thing. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you ever so much for stopping by and listening to me waffle on. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. So take care everybody. Thank you very much. I'll see you again soon. Take care guys. Bye.